All right, peace and love, everyone. Welcome to the Healing Cypher. I'm your host, Queen Tamar, and I have a wonderful show for us tonight. I hope everyone is doing well and surrounded by love, peace, and harmony this evening. And I want to say a special thank you to everyone who has been most supportive as we have transitioned the Healing Cypher from Plugged In Radio Network to my YouTube channel at Astral Healing Arts. Thank you, all of you who have continued the journey with us and continue to support us. King Ade is on a brief hiatus, and we're looking forward to him rejoining us on the show in the very near future. But in the meantime, we're still here. We're still working diligently to bring you new content, and I'm bringing to life many new plans and visions that I have for the show as the show continues to grow and expand. And I'm just so super excited for that. So tonight's show is about the moon energy and magic of the moon. There's a lot of talk out there about the moon, so we're going to be just discussing how the spiritual significance and um, the other significance of the moon, this very special luminary body that lights up our skies at night. And we're going to be talking how it has an impact on us and how no. Oh, it went out for a second. Bad connection, but it's back. And how important it is for us, and especially those of us who are striving to live in harmony with nature. So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. And I look forward to your questions and your comments in the chat. So, the moon, its energy and its magic. What is the moon? We know that the moon is a non luminous body that we see in the skies at night, sometime in the early morning hours too, and it reflects the light of the sun. What's special about the moon is it is something that is featured a lot in ancient cultures. You'll see crescent shapes and or the full moon shape sometimes, and it was something that people use to create calendars. Many calendars in the ancient world are based on the cycles of the moon. And the moon has cycles just like the sun has cycles, and everything in nature has cycles of time. We know that time is not just linear, but is cyclical. And the moon's various phases was used to determine um, times and appropriate times for different things. A lot of people a lot of our ancestors base their calendar systems on moon cycles versus solar cycles. So the moon cycles, we know that the moon has 28-day cycles, and a lot of calendars, especially the natural time calendar, the 13 moon 28-day calendar, is based on the cycles of the moon, those 28-day cycles. So each new moon was a new month. And I think the word month comes from the word moon. So this is what people use for a long time measure to measure time, to measure months in their calendars based on lunar cycles. And many calendars, not only did they use this as a basis for their calendar system, they also used it to know when to do certain things, like when to um, start their planting season based on certain moons, um, when to do their harvesting, when to plan certain events. It was all based a lot of times on the moon cycles, namely the new moon or the full moon. And the new moon was usually a time when people planned new beginnings, new projects, started things. In some cultures, the first new moon in spring was their new year. In others, it might have been, another time of the year. But the new moon was significant to a lot of people, or some people call it dark moon. It was very important because it was a time that represented newness, new beginnings, change on the horizon. And then the full moon is usually a time period when people would let go of things or release things. This is usually when people would make changes to their lives that they wanted to let go or release, or to make room for something new. A lot of people tell me that they will cut their hair on a full moon, or change, throw away clothes, or just do things that represent the energy of releasing and letting go during the full moon. A lot of people have full moon gatherings when they are having healing ceremonies, or a time of letting go, a time of releasing, a time of shedding the past to make room for new. And then people have full moon ceremonies, not full moon, new moon or dark moon ceremonies, when they're embarking on new journeys or new beginning, or if they're starting over. The full moon is the releasing phase, and the new moon is the beginning, or starting a new chapter phase. So this is what a lot of people do. And people in the ancient world gave names to these different moons. The full moons had names, and in fact, we are in a full moon phase now, and this moon is called the buck moon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I know they have more than one name, and these are indigenous names that people gave them. Like, I know last month's full moon was called the strawberry moon, and each month the full moons have a different name. Something else that's very important about the moon energy is during eclipse, that was also seen as a sacred time as well. And that's when the moon and the sun are in each other's shadow, and that has a very, very powerful spiritual significance as well. The moon is has very powerful energy, and it is often associated with the element of water, because the two work in harmony together. The moon's energy and pull has an effect on the waters on earth, and we know as above so below. Whatever affects the waters on the planet also has an effect on us, because we are mostly water. Water is one of the most abundant elements in our existence here on earth, and it's just such a powerful um, element. We know that in a previous show we talked about the power of water, and how water is life, and water holds memory. And so the moon's energy has an effect on water, and as it affects the water on the planet, it also has an effect on our bodies as well. This is something that people have known for time immemorial. They talked about, things, people acting strange or more emotional or hyper emotional during times of full moons. And there is some truth to that, because the moon's energy is more strongly felt at certain times, and it has an effect on our bodies, and a a powerful pull on us. That is why during super moons, a lot of people are more aware of it during super full moons than they are in regular full moons. And because the moon is deeply connected with the element of water, which is a feminine element, the moon is said to have a stronger effect upon women's bodies than men's. And, that is up for debate, but many people stamp on that, and they say that it does have an effect on women's menstrual cycles and other cycles within their bodies. But it definitely has an impact on life on the planet, because of its strong magnetic quality, and how water is something that holds memory and receives, we can transmit our thoughts and our words to water, and it has an impact on it. So too does the moon's energy. Back to the calendar system, we know that every day of the week has a specific um, energy and frequency. And Monday's frequency is the moon has the strong effect on Monday's frequency. That's why today is called Monday or Moon Day. And in Spanish, the word for Monday is lunes, and lunes comes from the word lunar, which means moon. And so this is the day of moon's energy. Each day has, like I said, its own frequency, and the frequencies are aligned to certain celestial bodies. For example, Saturday is Saturn's day. Venus's energy is highly what's the word? Has a Friday resonates with Venus energy. So each day of the week, holds its own specific energy, and so this is the moon's energy day or Monday. Um, Certain signs, zodiac signs. I know Cancer, which we are in the zone of Cancer now. What a coincidence! Not, but we're in the zone of Cancer now, and so Cancer is also ruled by the moon. Um, so this is Moon Day, and the moon's connection to the water, and how this affects us, and how we can use this energy and this knowledge to help us. So those of us who are striving to live in harmony with nature and to live with the natural timing frequencies of the planet, we should study the moon and the moon's effects on us, and strive to live in harmony with the moon's energy. So when you're planning projects or planning events or to do certain things that's new, maybe try to plan them around the new moon. Those 3 days where the moon's energy for the new moon, or the dark moon as they call it, is strongest. Plan it around that time. When you are planning to let go of something, to release something, to drop some bad habits, or not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be bad habits, but just something that you want to let go of and to release, to move forward, you would do that during the full moon. So that's a great time for that. Also, when it comes to planning things, you want to stick to the natural time as much as possible, because those natural timing calendars are, not only are they in harmony with nature, and but they're also in harmony with Earth's rhythms, and we are a part of those rhythms. We've been, for a long time, have been taken out of that natural harmony and that natural rhythm. And one of the reasons that this great awakening that's taking place right now is people are longing to get back, or to return to living in harmony with nature and living according to those natural timing frequencies and those natural rhythms of life. And so this is one way, by following the natural rhythms and the cycles of the moon. Um, they make a lot of moon banners now and t-shirts and things with the moon phases on it. You may want to decorate and adorn your house with that. Follow those natural calendars, like the 13 moon 28-day calendar, or the harmonic factor, I think it is. You can Google search and find those calendars, because those calendars are based on natural cycles in nature. um, Unlike some of the other calendars, which don't correspond to lunar or solar cycles for that matter either. So you want to be in harmony with those in your personal life, and how you conduct yourself, or how you plan things. Also, being more aware of how to harness the energy of the moons. For example, a lot of people like to charge their crystals during full moons, which is great because it's absorbing that energy from the moon. Also, some people like to charge their water that they drink during full moons. That's also great. Is absorbing and feeling absorbing and harnessing that energy from the moon, which is soothing, feminine energy, and it's very powerful. So all of these are examples of ways to honor um, the moon energy and to work with the moon energies and moon magic. So I hope that was very helpful. If you all have any questions further about moon energy, the purpose of the moon, or whatever, just feel free to send me an email at astrohealingarts@yahoo.com. Continue to follow the show on Instagram. We have an Instagram page. Look for announcements there. And also, you can follow me on Instagram at Astro Healing Arts. So I thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful and useful to each and every one of you. Peace and love. See you next week on Monday, 7 p.m., right here on YouTube. And Wednesdays, we have Ask the Herbalist Hour where we'll be talking about different health and wellness um, topics. Peace and love.